Hello, I'm back again. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I just want to tell that I've got a new YouTube channel. Yeah, I've got a new YouTube channel. My other YouTube channel is because I bought a new phone. I have to get a new. I've got now a new YouTube channel. It's called the same. It's got the same title. It's still called Salman Ali. Because I bought this new phone, that's why I have to get a new YouTube channel. So my YouTube subscribers from my other channel, they need to subscribe on this channel. It's also called Salman Ali. So it's a bit of a confusion, but yeah, so I have to start all over again and start a new YouTube page, which I'm doing, and so I have to get all my subscribers back. But it's going to be very difficult, but I'm trying. I'm sorry, I'm trying. I just got a new phone, so I have to start from the beginning again. Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna do a very interesting video here today about I'm gonna prove a very easy way. Now, people might think it's a bit too simplistic, but it's a very simple, easy way to disprove the existence of God. Now, it's going to be using in a very simplistic way. Now, I know people might think this is a bit too simplistic, but I think it's a very easy way to disprove the existence of God. Obviously, people will disagree with me, and they're entitled to do that. But it's a very simple way to disprove the existence of God. What I'm going to do is use your own senses, not just my senses. Everyone, we've all got senses. I'm not the only one. All our senses tell us that God doesn't exist. And this is the point I've made to Christians and Muslims, but they don't seem to understand. Our senses prove that God doesn't exist. And of course, the religious people will have an excuse. The Christians and the Muslims will have an excuse. Of course, they will say that your senses are limited and your senses could be lying to you and all these other stupid excuses. But the point is, there is no, without a shadow of a doubt, our senses are telling us that God doesn't exist. Every sense in our body is telling us that God doesn't exist. Now, what do I mean by that? Every sense. Nobody can deny that you cannot see God, you cannot hear God, you cannot smell God, and you cannot feel God. And this is what religious people know. They know what I'm saying is true, but they're just going to play games and they're going to make excuses because they're going to be like, it can't be that simple. How can you disprove the existence of God just by using your senses? It can't be that simple, but it is. It is. And obviously, there's other ways, there's more complicated ways evolution, the Big Bang, natural selection. The Bible is full of lies, the Quran is full of lies. Muhammad was not a nice guy, he was a warlord, and Jesus was the biggest fraud in history. This is a guy who committed high treason. There's all these different ways of trying to, disproving the existence of God. You can talk about the fact that the Adam and Eve story never happened, Moses never existed, Adam and Eve never existed, Abraham never existed. You can say all of that, but the point is, it doesn't matter what you say to these people, whether they're Christian or Muslim, they're not going to understand. They're not going to understand. It doesn't matter what you say. Even if everything you're saying is true, it doesn't make any difference. You can provide them with lots of evidence. It doesn't make any difference. They're not going to become atheist. They're not. But the point is, this is a very simple way of disproving the existence of God without going into evolution and science and everything else. It's a very simple way. You know, every sense, not just in my body, but every sense in every human being, wherever they are, whether they're man, woman, or child, every sense in our bodies tell us that God doesn't exist. So by believing in God, these religious people are rejecting their own senses. And it's not an opinion, this is a fact. Okay? Unless someone is blind or deaf, and when most people aren't, most human beings are not blind and deaf. Most human beings can see and they can hear. And also, even a blind and deaf person I'm sure, can feel and smell as well. So every sense in our body tells us that God doesn't exist. So by believing in God, these religious people are rejecting their senses. That's what they're doing. They are rejecting their senses. And that's what it comes down to. And they can't accept it, but they know what I'm saying is true. They'll make excuses like, oh, your senses are limited, or maybe your senses are lying to you. And oh, well, you can't see the wind, yeah, but you can feel the wind if it's a windy day. Am I not right? Can't you feel the wind when it's a windy day? You'll see that the trees are moving when it's a windy day. Can you feel God? And some religious idiot will say, well, yes, I can feel God. I can smell God and hear God and feel God and see God. I have a personal relationship with Jesus. They'll say all these stupid stuff. They'll just make excuses. That's all they're going to do. That's what it comes down to. Okay? Your senses will disprove the existence of God. Without a shadow of a doubt, they will. And this is what religious people need to understand. But it's a waste of time trying to explain them to that. But I'm telling you, but your senses disprove the existence of God. They really do. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.